Welcome back to Chapter 10, Section 6. We're going to talk about secants, tangents, and angle measures. So the last section you talked about tangents, and we know that they happen, or there is parts of the tangent that is outside the circle. And same thing will happen with a secant. Some of the segment will be outside the circle. So a secant is any line that intersects the circle at exactly 2 points. So if I have, let's call this circle K. Remember, the circle is identified by its center point. And I have a line that intersects my circle at exactly 2 points. It'll intersect here. Let's call that point M. And we'll call this point N. So right now what you have learned is that M in its segment, without it continuing, having endpoints, that would be called a chord. So M in with the notation of just a line would be a chord. Well, now knowing what a secant is, a secant has things outside the circle. So it's almost a chord that is extended and has parts outside. So my secant here would be considered MN, but to notate it, it's going to be a line that's going to continue and going and going and going. All right, so theorem 1012 says, if two secants or chords intersect, so I have two secants or two chords that intersect in my circle, then the measure of an angle formed is 1/2 the sum of the measures of the arcs intercepted by the angle and its vertical angle. Alright, so if I'm trying to find angle 1, I'm going to use its vertical angle also. So I'm going to say the measure of angle 1 equals 1/2 of their intercepted arcs. So AB plus vertical angles intercepted arcs DC. So I'm going to add those two together and then multiply it by 1/2, which is different if I'm looking at angle 2 and its vertical angle. I'm going to use BC and AB. So depending on the angle will depend on the arc that you use. Alright, let's try a few. I need to find the value of x. So x is here, its vertical angle is here. So I am going to use their intercepted arc. So that would be FG and also EH. So I always think of they're in a straight line. All four of those are in a straight line. So if I was going to try to find x, I'd say x equals, my angle equals 1/2 of FG plus EH. So 1/2 of 88 plus 76. So the measure of angle FIG, or you could say x, is going to equal 1/2 of 164. So my answer would be 88 degrees. 82 degrees, I'm sorry. Did my math wrong. Alright. So I'm trying to find angle x again. Well, angle x in its vertical angle actually have to use YV and XW. Well, we don't have those, but we do have 96 and 82 or 62. So we can go about this a couple different ways. I'm going to represent this angle as Y, so I can use the arcs that they give me. When I get finished with that, I can do one more step to get angle x. So I'm going to say y equals 1/2 of 96 plus 62. So I'm going to take 1/2 of 158. So y is going to equal 79 degrees. Alright, so if here is y, let's call this 79 degrees. Our secant here is actually a straight line, which would be 180 degrees. So if I have half of it, I can take 180 minus y to equal x. So I'm going to take 180 minus that 79 degrees that I just found to equal x. So x is going to equal 101 degrees. Again, there's a couple different ways to go about it. That just seems to be the easiest for me to understand. Again, you could find a different way. And last one, we need to find an arc, not an angle. But we do need to use the angle and its vertical angle to solve. So remember, it's my angle, 60 degrees, equals 1/2 of my intercepted arcs, x and ml. I'm going to add those two together. Because I don't like fractions, or I prefer not to have to use them, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2/1. So I'm going to get those to cancel, which leaves me with x plus 25 to equal 120. I'm going to subtract 25 from both sides. So my arc, the measure of JK's arc, which would also equal x, is going to be 95 degrees. Alright, go ahead and stop your video and try the next 3 checkpoints on the back. Here are your answers and the solutions. Alright, next. We have a secant and a tangent. So in this picture, BA is going to be a secant because it intersects the circle at exactly 2 points and it has that outside portion. And I have tangent A. Alright, so if I have those two and they intersect at a point of tangency, remember that point of tangency is point A, then the measure of each angle formed, so angle 1 or angle 2, is 1/2 the measure of its intercepted arc. So, I'm looking at angle 1. The intercepted arc of that angle is actually arc AB. So to find angle 1, I'm going to take 1/2 arc AB. So, if arc AB was 100, to get angle 1, I'm going to take 100 divided by 2, which would be 50 degrees. Or, what if BCA was 200 degrees, and I wanted to find angle 2, I'm going to take 200 divided by 2, which would give me 100 degrees. Your angle will always be less than your intercepted arc. So just remember that. Alright. So if I'm trying to find the measure of angle QPS, so I want to find that angle right there. Its intercepted arc would be PTS. So I'm going to take the measure of angle QPS to equal 1/2 of my intercepted arc, the measure of PTS. So 1/2 of 250 would give me the measure of angle QPS to equal 125. Well, if this equals 125 right here, I know that that is a line, so I could also say that this is angle RPS is 180 minus 125. So you can also find other things after you do what it's asking for. Alright, next problem. I need to find the measure of arc BCD. I'm going to hit C, and then I'm going to hit D. And I see that I have a tangent and a secant. But I have this angle right here, which means I can only find off the bat this arc that's intercepted. And there's a couple ways to do this. I'm going to take my angle equals 1/2 of my intercepted arc, which would be, I guess I don't have it, our purple, let's call it our pink arc. So to get my arc, I'm going to take this multiplied by 2. So I'd get this as 216 equals my pink arc right here. Alright, well if that's 216, I know the entire circle is 360 degrees. So I'm going to take 360 divided by 216, which would give me 144 degrees. Another way you could solve is you could extend this tangent right here, and you could, with 108, find that angle, which would be 180 minus 108, which would give me 72 degrees, and then 72 times 2, which would give me 144. So there's a couple ways to solve because I came to the same answer for both times. Alright, go ahead and stop this and do your next 2 checkpoints. Here are your answers and the solutions. And we are going to finish this lesson up on the next video, so come check us out for 10-6 part 2.